Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be continuing our alternate future of Europe series. And one of the first things to go down is a coalition being formed. And this is the Eastern Coalition. Eastern neighbors were welcome to join and stuff, not including Baltica, Belarus, and Novgorod, but the ones Muscovy, Ukraine, Poland, and Prussia all agreed to join the coalition. And coalition quickly goes after Rome, all wanting to get something out of it. As Rome is so big, it's going to be hard for them to hold the land. As we all know, the bigger you are, the harder to control yourself, right? And so, yeah. In Kazakhstan's borders were just broken. But with the world being significantly changed, there are still areas that are still green. Don't know why or how, but whatever. Because this series is so old, the map needs some cleaning up. I will do that eventually, or not. Who knows what the point is. Should we get rid of those dots or should we leave them there? With Poland starting the first offensives, Ukraine quickly starts its offensive, and the eventual entry of the Caucasus, the Volgograd Republic, which Muscovy quickly starts moving troops, but in the meantime, they were pushed back. And so, yeah. The Volga Republic wants to unify Russia, with Germany moving into German territory, with the Germans celebrating their entry. Wait, what? Yep. And so, yeah. With Poland, its offensive getting stronger, Poland-Lithuania's. With Ukraine moving down on this side of the Dnieper to about here, where they started their offensive over here. And Crimea is a big part of Rome, I guess. With the Volga Republic being knocked back, as knockback was used by Muscovy. With Muscovy making a big offensive in the north, encircling this area and taking it over. Encircling this area, but there was nothing there, so yeah. And Moscow and Volga, the Volga Republic, regrets what they've done. As Rome is struggling to secure victories, they eventually do secure a victory, but it's really late. Right here in this area, but yeah. Rome thought by dividing it, they would make it so it would be hard for people to fight up against them. But in reality, they made it easier. And now their offensives go well. I should have made puppets, I realized, but it's too late now. Rome did secure a few victories, but they were quickly pushed out. As the nation starting to get exhausted from the war. Ukraine is offensives are repelled a bit. About to hear, but in Poland was repelled. But Poland's offensive was really being degraded here for some reason. And Ukraine is really focusing going this way. They even start going down here, but that's just to secure their lands. And Poland works on the same thing to just secure itself. Prussia adds on to the security buffer. So if Rome does attack, they don't directly invade. And so, with Ukraine basically pushing them all the way there. And Russia and Muscovy making the Caucasus Republic surrender, everyone meets for a peace treaty. Is it in favorable terms? Probably not. But yeah. Kinda and kinda not. So let's Poland expanding south and Germany expanding west and a bit south. And we see Muscovy annexed a big chunk as Rome has been weakened significantly. But to the point where they're unable to control Turkish moves towards independence. As an independence movement, probably funded by these allies, unfolds. And why do I use light colors for civil wars? Because I do. You know, if I use dark, I'd have to come up with borders and stuff, and those are just easier. As the Turkish rebellion starts in the north and south. This is a significant movement. But the southern front quickly gets crushed by Rome itself. But starting to get more and more funding and stuff. With the Turkish provisional government being installed by this republic. After they have managed to take Ankara and they establish themselves as a threat to Rome. Rome's debating whether to just draw a border here or just continue fighting. Which, as you can guess, Rome would try to continue fighting. They could recognize this area, give it independence, and not have to give up as much land, I guess, as they start their southward spearhead. Which in the north, they do get pushed back towards the north and here. But their rebellion picks up speed in the south. And in the north, they start moving south too. So on until it becomes a full-blown established in central Turkey. Turkey is here to teach the world a lesson about being partitioned and such. With Muscovy right now still trying to rebuild Russia, they send in, just to show they're involved, they basically send in what they so-call peacekeeping forces. But they're actually the annexation forces, same thing. Which Ukraine never recognizes as legitimate peacekeeping. But seeing that Russia could become a threat to them, they start preparing their military, because they were once part of Russia. And so, with Rome being kicked, having their bums kicked, they're willing to come to a compromise with Turkey, which recognizes them, but they don't get all their land. And Turkey continues as they take Constantinople, which is a big deal for Rome, because it's a major city. People in Rome start complaining, how did you lose an important city? A coup happens, and the old government's ousted. Greece says, well, Turkey, you can't be independent if I can't. There always has to be two of us. And so on, till Greek areas declare independence, Albanian, Bulgarian, Romanian, Hungarian, Serbian, Montenegrin, Bosnian, even though that's impossible, but yeah, Croatian, and so on. As the Balkan War has officially began. And so on till it's yeah. With Greece starting the Balkan War. With a few things to keep note of being important. All of these nations may not have their original borders, or only a new border. Kind of like the alternate history channels I make. Alternate history videos, I mean. So, yeah. Random borders equals entertainment. As Balkan control becomes so weak that, or basically, yeah, as Rome's military has been either a lot of deserting is happening, and Turkey says, I will not let them, I will tell them not to go towards Rome if you let me free. And Russia's saying, my peacekeeping forces demand territory and stuff. And so on until it becomes a mess. And the Ottomans not the Ottomans, but you get the point. The area agrees that, yeah, you guys can all have independence. And so let's draw a line where Rome agrees to for their partitioning. Rome draws a line right here to how the partitioning can work. And Bulgarians going first. That's what they want. And they also want these lands, which Romania agrees to. And so they'll get these lands. What does Serbia get? Yeah, Serbia is going to look some ugly. Just saying. With Montenegro voting to unite with them because they'll fix the border war. And so on as Croatia decides to take these lands. And as you can see, we fixed the Balkans. Just kidding, we probably didn't. Longer distance to get there, as the Black Sea has been barricaded, so they're not allowed to trade through there, and the Strait of Gibraltar was barricaded. But luckily, they can trade through the north. In Belarus, as we can tell, one thing just happens. They just have to kinda collapse. With everybody going to an agreement, the Treaty of Kiev, whatever you want to call it, yep. And Russia takes this, Muscovy takes that, and Ukraine takes the southern part. Why does Poland get the most? Because they do, so. And everybody's like, yep, time to annex our chunks. How did it collapse? Nobody knows. How's Rome still alive? Not sure. How did Rome lose so many wars? Who knows? To make the series interesting, they have to lose so we can have more wars. Like a Russo-Ukrainian war. And as you can see, they go from the Caucasus through the Middle East still. Down through North Africa and stuff. But in other words, they're much weaker. As Rome has been split into multiple pieces. But suddenly, some of the nations are arguing now, especially over the partition of Russia, over the partition of Belarus. Belarus. Some are even planning on invading Novgorod. And yeah, as you can see, this world is not the best. Not the most secure, but still a good world. So thank you for viewing today's video. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Not until we hit 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, right, guys? You know how far we are from that? 28 subscribers away. So if you could, please subscribe. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. But not until you subscribe. Bye, guys.